What's up, guys? Knives and Guns here, coming at you with another lantern video. This time on the Coleman backpacking series of lanterns. I only have one of these, and it's a 226 model. But these things are really cool. This one's burning pretty good. I actually acquired this a few years ago, unfired at a garage sale, and I paid, I think, 20 bucks for it. Of course, it didn't stay unfired long around me, but you can see how tiny it is compared to a normal, like 220 size lantern like this Powerhouse, and then even next to the 242 behind it, or 247 behind it. They're just tiny little lanterns. But they do put off a pretty good amount of light, and they definitely put off a good amount of heat. So the history of these lanterns, they were built firstly in Canada by Coleman, Canada. Earliest dates that I've seen or heard about, and I got this information from Terry Marsh's website because I'm not incredibly familiar with the backpacking series of lanterns, but apparently it's right around January of 1980. That was the model 222. And then they came out with the 222A, and then they've had the 226, and then of course the 229, which was an exponent / dual fuel. Now the 226 is a unique variant on these because you can see it does have a collar, which makes it a little bit different than the others. Their valves stick off to the side, which makes them semi-unique in the Coleman lineup. But I'm kind of partial to this 226 because I think it's more proportional with the collar. These use a number 20 mantle, and I think they're rated right around 125 candle power or something like that. They are pretty dang bright for their size. Sorry, I had to cough, but they are pretty dang bright for their size, and they are fairly lightweight. The one complaint most people have about them is you do have to keep them pumped up. Usually about once every 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, depending on your ambient temperatures outside. You will have to give these things about 10 pumps, but the nice thing is the tank's so small that it really doesn't take a whole lot of effort. But yeah, these use a number 20 mantle, which is slightly smaller than a 21. You can get away with running a 21 if you keep the heat shield in place and you don't burn the mantle in, you just fire the lantern straight up. That tends to shrink the mantles a little bit more and keeps some of the heat away from that valve. You want to keep your heat off of that because there are O-rings in that. So it's good to keep the heat away as much as possible. I am running a number 20 mantle on this. Actually, it's a number 20, I want to say it's a gold top or a silk light from the 80s. And that thing's wicked bright. Now, these are susceptible to flickering. These are susceptible to a little bit of pulsing and a little bit of weird burning. I don't know if that's just this one. However, in the other ones that I have seen, I've seen kind of the same thing. I think it has to do with the burner frame. It is a stamped burner frame similar to a 629 or something along those lines. And so it is stamped. Give it a little cleaning needle. This one hasn't been ran very long. It is a relatively new lantern, so hopefully it gets a little bit better with time. But either way, it's just a really cool lantern. Cool to have it in the collection. It did come with a little carry case, which is pretty neat. Yeah, these are just very unique lanterns. I really would like to get more of them. I'd like to try one of the earlier 222s. Apparently they had some generator differences that caused them to be a little bit more efficient. They would run a little bit longer in between pumping and use a little bit less fuel. I think that's pretty cool. They came in various colors. You could find them in brown, you could find them in green, you can find them in black. This one is silver. And then, of course, the Exponent is like that gold, rusty brown color. It's pretty neat looking. Yeah, just super cool little lanterns. I don't know if these are particularly adjustable. I guess I've never really tried it. I suppose, yeah, to an extent they are. Let's get you a non-blown up version of this. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool little lanterns. They do put off a wicked amount of heat. The reason I'm making this video is actually because the power's out right now. And it's brutal. It's like 90 degrees, so standing in front of this hot box isn't helping. But yeah, lots of lanterns on the healing bench here. Lots of ones I'm working on, lots of little projects and stuff. I am actively collecting again. I took a few years off of collecting because I thought the prices just got kind of out of control. But I'm actively collecting again, and I'm enjoying it. Kind of getting back into the swing of things. But just wanted to bring you guys a quick video on this little guy. And if you find one, pick it up. The parts are still available for these. Globes seem to be fairly available. Generators seem to be fairly available, except the original 222 generators. Those are no longer available, and they recommend you replace them with the 226 generator. However, I would try to rebuild that original 222 generator because it's supposedly a little bit more efficient. Haven't tested that personally, but that's what people say, and you know, a lot of people know more than I do about them. So yeah, just a quick little video, guys. Quick little update around here. Just hanging in there, still collecting and still fettling. Alrighty, guys. Take care.